So why don't we just sort of, give everybody an update? We don't have to run for an entire, hour. Rajiv, you want to go? I'll just go Rajiv, then Bryce, then Stacy, then me.
Sure.
Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm actually going through a bit of a rebranding in the sense that, so it's still R Square Media, but now we're kind of really digging down on reputation repair and reputation management, but primarily reputation repair. I had a great conversation with an attorney that I met through somebody else connected me to. And when I was sharing with him the 3 products that we have, which is Bazooka, Force Field, and Relocation, he was like, wow, these are like great names. You should have them on your website. And we do have it on the website, but it's not, like front and center. So I figured, hey, I think the universe is trying to communicate with me, and let me just kind of own it, rather than hide from it. Let me just own it. And so with that, we're kind of just tweaking the existing website to make these products like more upfront, as well as change the verbiage on the website to kind of make it all about reputation. Since when I was doing the keyword research, I discovered that there actually is a keyword called website reputation and SEO reputation and Google reputation, etc. So, so attaching reputation to some of these core internet marketing services is not as much of a stretch as I thought that it might be. You can't just say everything reputation just for the heck of it, right? I mean,
right.
There has to be some logic and sense and I guess integrity, in all of this. So, but I discovered that there are few distinct categories like that. So that's going pretty well, making new videos, and also in the process of trying to streamline the process as much as possible, but specifically trying to qualify the clients better, so that the kind of people that I was having a great conversation with, I forget her name, that really funny, this is going to sound like, I don't know, horrible to say or racist. I hope it doesn't sound racist, but there's that, what's her name, that that lady who's doing that course on how to sell.
Rochelle,
yeah, don't schlep along or whatever she keeps saying. So, yeah, so I was like having a conversation with her, and she told me, when I told her that a lot of the people that I speak to have sticker shock when they hear the price, she exclaimed, well, yeah, because they're probably Hyundai, customers walking into a Ferrari dealership, but there's a disconnect there. So it kind of like falls on me to kind of establish where they are in our positioning. So that's on me, and I have to take that on the chin. So right now, that's what we're trying to like work on.
Wow, that was so racist, Rajiv. Unbelievable of you.
I think he held back. Whatever. He filtered himself. Yeah, she has a certain style that's definitely very New York. Yeah, and she uses lots of Yiddishisms like schlep along, right? So
we all do in New York. We all have them,
right?
Jewish or not, we all use Jewish.
Right. There's a fair amount of there's some great words in Yiddish that you just it's very onomatopoetic, right? It sounds like it is schlep, like you're dragging some big wet
what a schmuck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only other Jewish word I know, honestly.
Wait, is that a Jewish word? Schmuck?
Yes.
Yeah. Schmuck,
well,
exactly.
I think what is it? Yiddish, I think.
It's
really?
It's so it's Yiddish is a sort of a mashup between German and Hebrew.
Oh, okay.
Really?
And it comes from Eastern European.
I thought Yiddish was Jewish. I thought that was the Jewish language.
It's not
Hebrew.
really.
Yeah.
Hebrew is a language of the Bible, right? So, and the people in Israel took on Hebrew again. They made it modern.
Right.
But the Eastern European Jews and some who still live in sort of Brooklyn, they're very religious, speak Yiddish.
Right. Okay.
It's their sort of heritage.
Right.
But it's a dying language, for better or for worse.
Oh no.
Yeah, whatever, stuff happens.
Well, just like Latin. Latin's been dead for a long time. So I met somebody who's like, oh yeah, I have a Latin degree. I can speak Latin. Like who Latin.
Speaking to who?
It's not spoken anymore, but it's it's good if you want to be, well,
A lawyer.
classics, but also for linguists, because a lot of Latin languages, French, English,
Yeah.
Spanish, Italian are all based on Latin.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's great. So it's exciting. So you're going to try to refocus both your website, your keyword SEO, and as well as customer targeting.
Yeah. So that's currently what we're doing. It's kind of like there's a lot of heavy lifting, but hey, I'm going to bite the bullet and get it done. And
Can you tell me who, like, you've probably had some really good clients in the past, without naming names, what's a really good, typical good client, like, who comes to you and says, I'm willing to pay this because I need it?
yeah, so it would be somebody in sports or entertainment. That's one category. Another category is somebody who's trying to do a deal, like deal makers. So deal makers could be brokers, or they could be people in private equity that are trying to structure deals. So whether
Why do they run into the problem of reputation?
because the people that they're trying to do the deal with, one of them may have something connected to their name or their spouse's name that kind of like potentially could derail the deal. Like, there was this person that contacted me a few years ago that wanted to launch an ICO for their crypto, but him personally had some kind of bankruptcy story connected to him. So that was kind of killing the deal. Like, it was a non-starter, because then this was like 4 years ago when crypto was even more mysterious, let's say. So any whiff of even bankruptcy, nobody's gonna come near it with like a 20-foot pole. So that was like one example. Other examples have been like when a company is trying to be bought or acquired or merged, then sometimes one of the principals may have something connected to them, and then people don't usually want to be associated with someone that was arrested for something really allegedly like horrible,
Right.
like manslaughter or murder or something
Do
like
you work at all with people that do those investigations, the background investigations?
Not yet. I haven't found that many people. You mean like private investigators or something?
Yeah. So, oftentimes, when people are doing a big deal like that, they're going to do a background investigation of the principals of the company that they want to acquire. And or, in the flip side, as you pointed out, somebody who wants to sell their business. And if they've got some sort of, if one of the principals has some sort of background issue that they don't want to come up. So that might be even a better angle. I mean, typically the buyers will do the background investigation, but it's the sellers who have the issue, might have an issue, of course, that are concerned about it and don't want it to come up. And so in that case, it would be the sellers. So these would be sort of mid-tier, I would guess. Not business brokers, but M&A people, mergers and acquisitions.
Right.
That might be a good target for you. I mean, I know somebody who was in that business. He's retired, but he might be a good person to talk to, just to get a sense.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. He could probably point me in the right direction.
Yeah, well, he could also say, is this something that has become, was an issue when he represented sellers?
Right.
So ping me, and it's been a while since I connected with him, but if you ping me, I can probably find out his name, and he would be happy to talk to me, I'm sure.
Should I ping you on LinkedIn chat or email?
Email's probably better.
Okay.
All right.
So can I just ask Raj a question? So you're still like doing the scrub of like the Google or whatever it is, Google and Yahoo. The reputation management aspect of it, what other than what we know you do, what specifically is it that you're doing in terms of reputation management? Like, are you helping them like redo their online presence? You know what I mean? What is it that you?
Yeah. So essentially, reputation management encompasses all the things to do with marketing, communication, and branding. So if, let's say, somebody, a person, organization, or brand wants to be associated with certain things, then we as a reputation company can help them establish those optics such that those things can then be attributed to them, whether those things are either professional accomplishments, social impact accomplishments, philanthropy, or any other kind of key issues that they feel very strongly about that they want associated with them. So specifically, it means that we can create either long form or short form content connected to that, or video content. We've been kind of focusing more on video content, long form and short form video content. And that content can then be used, in social or search or on websites or, things like that.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Thank you.
All right.
Most welcome, Stacey.
Thank you, Rajiv. Bryce, I see you've got your cat with you, or some sort of animal, I see.
I do have a cat with me.
So tell us
There
what's
you go.
going on. I don't know if you want to talk at all about the modular construction company. I know it's not really up the alley of marketing, but it's a small group.
Yeah, I mean, the construction thing is really starting to take off. I've tried to work with my friend in the north for quite a while, and we've gone through probably about a dozen different deals that didn't pan out for various reasons. But this one is scalable to basically anywhere. So as an example, your friend down in California, they're probably ready in the next, I don't know, month or two to have that conversation, because they want to start getting projects on the books and conversations in more not industries, in more markets in the States. So basically I'm kind of taking care of the north myself, so like Alaska, Northwest Territories, Yukon, Nunavut, and then we're focused on Vancouver right now. So
you want
anything.
I think you'll need to explain to Rajiv and Stacy what this is, because it's not.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So essentially, the construction of buildings hasn't really changed in the last, half century. Essentially, the biggest change was basically air guns to like nail nails, right? So the organization, the logistics, the structure of buildings hasn't really changed too much. But this company does buildings in modular. So basically, it builds everything in a factory, trucks them out, crane puts them all together. And here, I'll actually give you a really good example of the difference.
Hold on, let me share my score. 1 second.
Are these the kind of like ready-made houses?
No.
It's apartment buildings, essentially.
Yeah.
So, but it's built modularly so that sort of each room or apartment is sort of dropped in.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just kind of like lock it in, kind of thing?
Yeah, think of it like Lego.
Oh, like Lego, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Wow, that's cool. Seems very futuristic.
So this is this is a 6-story hotel, 83 units that was built in just over 4 months, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the kicker. So these 83 units took 8 days to install.
What?
What do you mean? When you said 4 months, so what's the difference between 8 days and 4 months?
So there's the actual building. So you have to dig ground, you have to level it, you have to put a foundation in, parkade, whatever. So the units are all built in a factory at eye level, so it keeps quality high, right? They truck it out, they ship it in, it all comes on site, they click it in with a crane, 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 right? And after everything is clicked in together, then you bring in the trades to hook everything together. So all of the services, you turn the lights on, connect all the plumbing, finish the common areas, do the outside. So this is basically indistinguishable from a normal building after it's complete. It's the process and the preparation that's really the difference.
Wow.
So this is the factory that it all gets built in. So it comes in the front. They just like drop off stuff over here. They build stuff out, blah, 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 get pumps out, and then they seal it so it's airtight, and then they ship it off to site when it's ready.
And what's your role in that?
So I got connected at the ground floor. Basically, I'm in sales, right? So I'm essentially selling this all over the place. So I'm talking to real estate agents, real estate houses, landowners, developers, construction companies if they're really interested. But normally construction companies are not. I just got off the phone with a family office that's looking to deploy money into real estate. They want to build buildings. This is an ideal client for Emerge, who's the company, because the normally what happens with a landowner is you flip out of the deal. So we bought it for 2 mil, we sold it for 4. Yeah, we made money, as opposed to being a part of the build itself and actually building out the potential of the property. Or if they do that, it's a very expensive, time-consuming, and risky process for a variety of reasons: time, capital, mistakes, change orders. Like, I was in construction for 10 years, so like there's always problems, guaranteed. I'll guarantee you there will be a problem of some sort somewhere at some point.
And is this ideal? It seems like it's ideal for like hotels that have a very sort of well-defined, all the rooms are very similar. Or I guess it could be apartment buildings, obviously, so a particular line is all the same. Is that true?
Yeah, so their focus is in multi-story towers. So the cost per square foot goes up significantly when you do a tower, because it's just, there's more to it, right? So a traditional building system is just very expensive. It's just how it is. You make more money, but it's also much more capital intensive. It takes much longer to do. It's just more because it's bigger, right? And so this process, they can do a floor a day.
Wow. And are they doing this in bigger cities like New York as well?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's probably some more logistics. I mean,
I was thinking that, yeah.
So so the long-term plan of this is they eventually want to have facilities all across the eastern and western U.S. Right now, they've got one in Calgary. They're building one in Vancouver. They want to do one in Toronto to service the one in Toronto would probably service the eastern corridor there for a little bit anyway. But all down the west coast, the east coast, there's a ton of building opportunity all over the goddamn place, right?
Right. So anything that's very exciting, and so they're making headway with through you.
Yeah, I've connected them to a bunch of people, and we're basically in negotiation with them right now with what the commissions are. So if I bring them a deal, how much do I get paid for it? Probably a few $100,000, depending on the size of the project.
If you get paid a few $100,000, you're going to leave mind of a marketer, I imagine.
No, I'm going to pump it into mind of a marketer and make that a $1 billion company.
Did you? I connected you with
Gary.
Gary, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, Gary
Benioff or something. Benioff. It's not Benioff, but it's similar.
Yeah, I had a really good call with him the other day. He's interested. He's got probably an agency or a media buyer that he wants to talk to about it. It's a Jewish holiday, so I was like, "Oh, are you Jewish too?" Yes. Okay. Well, I'll see you next week. Right. So yeah, so I have a follow-up call with him next Thursday, I think. But yeah, it sounds like he'll be a really good lead source as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way, I don't know if he himself would have any interest in sort of getting more involved. He's sort of looking for something to do right now.
Yeah, that's part of the conversation that we had.
Yeah. So, but like almost anybody, you're going to test it out, see if you can get somebody to bite, how excited they are, how well it works.
Yeah.
And then if he sees that, if the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, and it proves out for him, I'm sure he might want to somehow get more involved.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the conversation that we had. So I'm like, hey, I'll give you a referral fee to start. If you want to take more of an active role, you can totally do that.
Yeah, he's a good guy, sharp guy. He built up an agency from scratch. So
exactly. I was like, wow, this guy is, and he knew his stuff about. So when I was explaining stuff to him, he's like, wow, this is pretty amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be a good connection. Anything else on the mind of a marketer side?
Yeah, so the last part is we started this process called BEO, Business Engine Optimization, which basically does a deep dive on companies to save them money in their business processes, essentially, and that's taken off too. So basically, when we usually have to say no to a lot of companies because we're basically like, you're not ready, you don't have a proper website, you don't have an offer that converts, you don't have X, Y, and Z that's ready. So this process does a deep dive on the company, says, okay, we're gonna charge you this much money. We're gonna get you up to this point, and at that point, you can spend the money that we found you in the company that you already have to now scale the company more faster. So that's kind of the pitch for that. That's going really well. I closed the client last night on it actually.
And what kind of client, just to give us a good idea, would be ideal for this?
Yes,
Cat with a tail in your face.
Yeah. So an ideal client is basically any company that does more than 200,000 revenue. We can basically find them usually at least 100,000 to 200,000 in revenue in their business because of the lack of systems that they have. Ideal client is around the million plus mark because we can probably double the revenue. As an example, my business partner did this for a lighting company that does 3 million a year. He found them in their business process is $7 million.
In revenue, obviously you can't find $7 million in cost.
Yeah, revenue. Yeah.
And your business partner being Earl?
Yeah.
So a lighting manufacturer, tell me about.
Yeah. So what happened is one of the questions is, do you have anybody that you can JV with to generate more revenue? So he asked a roofing company that he was also working with, hey, do you guys install lights? No. Do you ever get asked about that? Yes. Well, why don't you do that? So he connected them. Connected the two companies, the roofing company and the lighting company. Instant $500,000 in revenue for both companies. Wow. So it's looking at, so it basically asks you a bunch of dirty questions about your business. So what's your market dominating position? How are you unique from everybody else? Can you save money on cost of goods? Can you go back to your vendors and say, hey, I want a better deal? Do you have a proper lead generation system? Does your website give you leads? Do you have joint ventures? Who else can you talk to? Who else would sell your services? Who else can sell your? Who else can you refer to and make money off of the referral? So there's
so it sounds like a consulting kind of offering. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, so we basically find them a bunch of money to pay for the consulting and reinvest in the business. They use that money to scale up their business, do all of the implementation with this, which takes them to a point where they can then dump a bunch of money in marketing and take the company to the next level. That's kind of the overview. But yeah, it's really, really effective. I did this for a trucking company. Could have doubled his revenue.
Could have, meaning
he didn't actually want to move forward with it.
No.
So it was up to him. If you don't implement anything, you don't gain anything.
Exactly. So Stacy, give us an update.
So, Stacy Mathis. I own a website called Legal Copywriting Central, and we craft marketing copy for attorneys and any legal vendors who sell products and services to lawyers. And we are just starting to craft copy for companies that are in the legal space, but where their customers are lay people. So these are services that people sort of self-help services, think like a LegalZoom type company, or companies that where they're co-parents going through a divorce and they need like a calendaring application. There are software as a service companies that create these and manufacture these types of these apps and things like that. So tech companies that are in the legal industry, we will be creating copy for them as well. We're doing a little bit of blogging. I'm not making a big announcement about it, but we've just started to incorporate that a little bit more into our, over the summer into our list of services that we provide.
Blogging for your clients.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, blogging for clients. So, and that's pretty much it, but I actually have a question for Bryce. Sorry. The real estate, the construction thing. I met a woman recently through Lunch Club. One of those. Yes. And she's starting a business. She had purchased a house and she did this whole, renovated and did all of this stuff. And turns out she loved doing it and wants to continue. And she's starting a business where she's going to be buying property or building property. Is this the type of person for that, for what you're doing, or that's totally a different arena altogether?
If it's multifamily, yes. If it's single family, no. So the value of this is on the larger the project, the more value there is kind of the rule of thumb. So if it's just like, duplexes, fourplexes, stuff like that, probably not.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, the nature of it is it's modular. So you've got, maybe in a building that's got 100 units, you've got 5 or 10 different variations on the modules. And you just build them and then plug them in.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. And did we ever connect you with, what's the name of, Brandy Knox?
No, Brandy Knox. No, I don't think so. I don't recall that name.
Brandy Knox, Knox.
Mhm.
It's Knox Design Strategies.
Oh, yeah, I think you mentioned to me the first meeting I attended.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She does design specifically in the legal space,
Okay.
web design, and I think, other marketing collateral.
Right. Okay.
Let's see if I can find her. I should be able to find her LinkedIn pretty easily. And then I will share it. The KNOX. And I'm gonna put it in the chat. I can find my chat. So this is her LinkedIn.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And if you want to connect with her, just send me a brief, like a short blurb and I will introduce you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Yeah. And she obviously does a lot of marketing in that space, and networking, I should say, in that space, specifically in New York.
Oh, great. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. And it looks like she's been doing it for 21 years. Before that, she was with a Sherman and Sterling, so one of the big legal law firms.
Right. Oh, great. No, thank you.
Absolutely. And what am I up to? So, yeah, I think it's out of. If Stacy, could you put your self on mute? Let me see if it goes away then.
Hold on.
I could put you on. I think I could put you on mute.
I don't know how to.
All right, I put you on mute. Yeah, I think it was there's something going on with your speaker and microphone that's causing feedback, but that's all right. Now that you're on mute, I don't hear it, but I don't hear you either. So if you want to say something, make sure you speak up. So what's going on with me? I've been somewhat distracted because I took on a consulting gig that is just sucking a lot of my time. I'm supposed to be working full-time on the consulting gig, but it's almost impossible to use anybody full-time, but it does take, when they call, I sort of have to answer because they expect me to be dedicating my time to the consulting gig. It's interesting. It's a pricing strategy job for a fintech firm, about a $500 million fintech firm. But it does detract a little bit from my other work. One of the things that it's taken away from my ability to focus on the trusted referral network, although I'm still getting the newsletters out, still running the meetings, got to keep that going and want to continue building it. I just had a call with somebody who I met in the event space regarding the virtual, I'm sorry, the 3D rendering service that I'm representing now. And thank you, by the way, Rajiv, you connected me with Wendy Hu. She's very busy on her cannabis deal or something, cannabis event.
Yeah, and I think in Brooklyn or something.
Yeah, I think it's October. And so she said, well, we're going to connect after that because she's just, heads down.
Yeah, she's underwater.
Yeah, she's underwater. So, but I appreciate it. Actually, somebody else, it might have even been the woman who, God, what's her name? Who also recommended that I speak with Wendy. She apparently is a go-to person in the event space. and just met with somebody else from that same world who does high-end staging for people who want to sell their, multi-million-dollar apartments.
Michael, something just kind of flashed in my brain. There's this person that I met incidentally through Wendy. His name is Franco or something. I'm not remembering the name, but his focus is on augmented reality using Allspace VR. I'm sorry, VR, not AR. And I think that, the company that you have, which does those renderings, I think that there might be an interesting synergy with what he does, because VR is all about kind of visualizing what that space looks like, and maybe those renderings could be used in those experiences.
Sure. I mean, they do build environments for VR.
Yeah.
Franco?
I think that's his name, but I'm going to find his actual name, and I'll like ping you on, I'll do like the LinkedIn chat connection thing as
is the last name Franco?
I'm not sure. You know what? Let me look into it too.
Not Jason Franco.
No. I was just saying Franco because it sounds similar, but
okay.
I'm going to find his name. I think I have it in a video that I was just looking at 5 minutes ago. So I'll find out, hopefully before this call ends. That's
okay. So that's been going well. People are excited about it. Obviously, there's a visual component to it that gets people's, that people like, gets them excited. And hopefully, Bryce, what I'm going to do is maybe shoot you a link to a video or two that might be helpful for the modular building company in terms of what they could do with, explaining this, how this stuff goes together. I did see something on their site that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was like kind of a live action type deal.
It might have been a live action what do they call it? Time lapsed.
Yeah, they have like a simple, like, here's the process. We bang some stuff and build some stuff, and boom, you have a facility.
Right. But if they want to promote it even more about, how it all works, using some virtual renderings, then might be of interest. So I'm going to mark that down.
Okay.
Yeah. So Michael, I found his name. His name is Roberto da Costa. So I know it sounded like
that is
Franco.
So far from Franco.
Come on, man! It had it. Oh, hello.
DACOSTA.
Yeah. I'm sending you his LinkedIn in the chat so you can like connect. And I'll do the connection, the introduction as well. Like, really cool guy. And I think there might be some immediate synergies.
Okay, Roberto da Costa. Yeah, well, it's a Spanish name, Roberto Franco da Costa.
I mean, come on, guys.
I think that's the way the brain works. You got it right.
Yeah.
You got to dig into those annals of what's back there. So still doing the software thing. Still always looking for connections with digital marketing agencies that, of the 2 to 20 people. Those are great contacts for me because oftentimes I don't have those internal resources to build the websites, do the mobile applications, that sort of thing. And Bryce needs coffee. Yeah,
it's like 2 o'clock. My mind just
you're having the afternoon
Yeah, I think we go grab some
drags. You're right. Anything else? I mean, we don't need to extend this beyond what's necessary, but if anybody wants to bring something up.
I think that's good for me. Yeah, we covered a lot.
All right, good. Well, I'm glad things are going well for everybody. Hopefully we'll be getting back to larger groups over the next couple of weeks. And if you know somebody who you think might be interested, send them my way.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much,
doing that as we speak.
Oh, you are. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, everybody. Good seeing you.
Take care. Bye-bye.